Hello, really well-beings. Dr. Barnsley here with a video all about called Joyful Journaling. So it's a way of keeping a journal that helps us be joyful and realise that this is it. What a wonderful life it is. And if we want to achieve something, it helps us achieve it by staying on track. This is an example of something that I do in my life and has made a big difference to me and also the people who come to see me in my really well-being presence practice. And so, how does it work? Well, there are a couple of things that are really important. Firstly is recognising it does require a bit of time and energy. I call them quality time. So probably it takes about 5 minutes a day to do something that pays dividends several times over. So it's really important to set aside that key time to be able to do it. And so 5 minutes when either in the morning or for me, I do it as part of my wind down before bed. And really important to set that aside. So I actually put a little reminder that tells me it's wind down time. And then I know I'm going on to it. And all you need is a pen and an A4 sheet of paper. Here's a blank A4 sheet of paper. And just like in Blue Peter, here's one I made earlier. So this is my journal from last night. And you might recognise various bits of it there, but it'll look a bit like that when you're done. So I'll have I've folded it into 4 parts to make 4 sections. And then in the middle, I've got a cycle of a day, 24 hours. So how do I do it? Well, it actually starts at the first day of the week for me, or day 0 of the week for me, where I just give myself a little checklist and spend a little bit of time going through kind of like an MOT for myself. So I look at my body, my mind, my environment, my thoughts and feelings, my relationships and my work and all of those things. And I've come up with a little checklist here called Well-Beings checklist and a little sleep checklist here, which if you get in touch with me, I should be able to share it with you. But once a week I do that just to get a sense of what's going well, not so good, and what my theme for the week is. So because my son's been quite disturbed, my sleep's been a bit disturbed with him. So my big theme for this week that's going to carry through my daily journals is all about sleeping well. So I get my piece of paper and I put my big theme on it, which is that. The next thing I do, usually before that, is I also put my initials on the piece of paper. So that's my signature there. And also I put the date. So it's 12/11/19 today. Then, having divided the page into 4 parts, I then write down these headings. So the first heading is WWW, which means what went well. So I'll just put in there went well, so you know what that is. But for me, it's shorthand. The next one is NSG, which was not so good. Then in the bottom corner, I write in here, will tick, because this is what I'd like to improve if I could. And I'm going to put a little tick box next to it. So, those are tasks and things that I'd like to achieve. And I'm going to give myself a big tick when I achieve them. And then in this corner, it's how now. So having decided what's important and what I'd like to achieve, I work out specifically or smartly how I'm going to achieve it. And it's all about doing it now. And then in the middle, I'm going to draw, eventually, a circle, which covers 24 hours. So I've got here 6 a.m, I've got 12 midday, I've got 1800, 6 p.m, and I've got 12 o'clock. And so those are the key landmarks that we're going to use in keeping our journal. And normally I'd put that a bit lower so you've got a bit more space for that, but we'll go with it for now. So, firstly, I'll put in there, so what went well? So for me, yesterday, what went well was I made a plan like this, and I did as I planned to. So I can give myself a tick because I did a map adapt. Also, what went well was I had some good quality time with my family, and that was really pleasing for me. The other thing that I did well was I had lots of hot water, which helped me feel nice and relaxed and refreshed. What was not so good? Well, I was feeling a bit under the weather with a cold, so I was a bit poorly with a cold yesterday. Also, I didn't get to go for morning walk because I was off to a learning meeting at the school, and so I could only walk maybe for 2 minutes rather than go for my longer walk, which I normally do before my GP work. So that wasn't so good that I missed that. Also, because I was poorly, I really wasn't fancying being out in the rain. And then the other part that was not so good was I ate a bowl of cereal or muesli after work, which made me feel a bit wired and a bit overexcited before bed. So that was not ideal either. So those are 3 things that were not so good. And then the next part here is I then turn those problems and those great things into opportunities. So it's what I'd like to try if I could. So I would like to make sure I make a plan. I would like to make sure I do a quality time, and I would like to have hot water. So I actually do a ditto for all of those above. So I'll put map, which I'm doing right now. I would like to quality time, and I would like to have hot water. So all of those are going to have their own little boxes. So I'm going to achieve those. The other things, I turn these problems into opportunities. So I was feeling poorly with a cold, so what I'd really like to do is to boost my immune system today. I'd also like to get some daylight walking. And it just so happens I went for a nice walk to school with the kids this morning. And then the other thing is I'd like to eat more healthily. So the kitchen is closed at the right time. And hopefully by being more robust and less fatigued, I'd like to be able to do it. The other thing I didn't do actually was I didn't lie semi-supine. So that's one of the other things. So I'd like to do that as well at the end of the day. So what I could do next then is put in here, how would I like to achieve it? So all of those things, I'd like to make a plan. Well, I'm actually doing it right now. Quality time. So I'm going to have a little bit of quality time with my kids a little bit later. So I'm going to book that in. And what time I'm going to do that? QT with the kids. I'm going to do it at pickup time. So it's going to be about 3 p.m. So I'm going to put QT kids there. What's the other thing I'd like to do? I'd like to have some hot water. So I'm going to have some hot water at about 10 o'clock. So hot water about 10 and also about 3 p.m. So those are good times for me. So I'm taking the things I like and put them into place. The next thing is I'll look at the things that didn't go so well. So how am I going to do that? Boost my immune system. I'm going to go for a walk outside. I'm going to have some healthy soup. So thinking about healthy eating, I'm going to put some healthy soup that's going to boost my immune system, and that daily walk's going to boost my immune system too. So walk and soup are the 2 big things I'm going to do there. So I need to now put them on my timetable. Now, what I then do is look at those things and put them in. So I've got quality time with the kids at 3 o'clock booked in. I've also got hot water at 10:03, so I'm going to put hot water there, and at 3, hot water. So I'll have quality time with a nice hot drink with them. And there we go. On the simplest level, that's how you can make a journal that goes really well. Now, because I'm also trying to encourage myself to sleep well, I have a little strategy that I put in place called sleepers that I know are 8 things that spread out over the day will help me sleep really well. And they go a bit like this. So I spell sleepers on the board. S-L-E-E-P-E-R-S. So I write it on my thing, on my cycle, because I know if I put them in at those times in the day, they'll work with my circadian rhythms. So S is all about start times and set times and reminders. So when I want to wake up in the morning, I want to wake up naturally before anything else does. But if I am slightly oversleeping, it's really good to have a reminder to make sure I get a regular wake up time. And so rather than relying on it, it's there as a fallback. So that's why I call it a reminder rather than an alarm, because I don't need to be alarmed in the morning. So I'm going to set a reminder, and I can do it right now, beep, 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 on my watch to wake me up at 6 o'clock. Now you set your own wake up time, but you also need to set down your end time. So what time are you going to get into bed? And so for me, it's probably going to be about 9:30. So I'm going to put those times in there. And then I've got my sleep wave where I come in and then I go to bed. So I know that's going to be about 9:30 and that's going to be about 6 a.m. Great. The next thing I'm going to do is look at L, which is about optimal time for learning and for letting the light into your body. So I get outside and also learn something new in the morning if I can. So one thing new. E is for eating well. So I make sure I eat a good lunch that's healthy for me at least once a day. And because I break my fast at around midday anyway, because I know that eating in a narrow window rests my gut and it's good for me, I'll make sure I eat a healthy lunch and I'll plan it and book it in. So I'm going to have a soup and that's in my to-do list. The next thing, hello Bubba, you want to come up? I'm going to do is look at, here we go, you can hold that for me. Can you hold that there? Lovely, there we are. So we've got that there. Oh, you've got something in the nappy, lovely. We're going to do E is about expressing and exercise. So around sort of 3 o'clock, we all have a natural trough in our energy and our insight. So it's a good time to make sure you've got something. Yeah, Ommy's breakfast. So we're going to book that in. And so I'm going to make sure I get a bit of physical activity and outside. So I'm going to play with the kids at around 3 p.m. Or I'm going to go for a little stroll, just 5 minutes, if I can, outside. And I call that flow time. The next thing is about pause and processing and unwinding. So I'm going to set myself a little reminder. So I've got one on my phone to actually say, time to turn it off. It's a digital sunrise. And for me, it's around sort of 6 o'clock. And that's when I'm going to lie semi-supine. So I've had tea, kitchen is closed, I'm going to lie down semi-supine and have a good rest. And then E is about ending well. So that's the time when I sit down, I complete my journal, I do a gentle meditation and unwind before bed. And then I get into bed. Relaxed and ready is R. And I know I want to relax myself, so I let my body unwind with a progressive muscle relaxation or a visualization. Just something I feel grateful for. And then at the end of the day, having been relaxed, I make sure I'm ready. So I've got all the kit I need if the kids wake up. So if one of them's poorly with a cold, I'll make sure I've got everything that needs to help get through them or me through the night. So I've got a little sleep pack ready. And then S is about sanctuary. And it's all about recency and latency. So the two most important factors that help you sleep well are at the start and finish. And so setting reminders and times and sticking with them. And then the other S is for sanctuary. And that's because to sleep well, you need to be in the right place that feels safe, dark, slightly cold, so 18 degrees, and silent. And those are my sleeper things. And as I've planned them in the day, I'm much more likely to do them. And I can almost tick off the boxes as I go round. And so that's how I do my journal at the end of the day, as well as have a journal specifically to help me and others sleep well. I hope that makes sense and you find it useful. And that's the art of joyful journaling. I wish you a wonderful life. Do let me know how it goes. Bye for now.